Hey guys, today I wanted to film a little video just kind of chatting about my C-section that we're going to be having this time. Well, I've had 2 C-sections already, but this is going to be my first scheduled C-section where we know from the get-go that we're going to be doing a C-section. So just a little bit of background, my first 2 sons I did push for like 2 hours with Cal and 3 hours with Eren and made essentially 0 progress, and so I had C-sections with both of them. This time around, we're just not even gonna try. We're just gonna do a C-section again, and I'm actually kind of excited about it because there's so many pros that come with not having to push for hours, go through labor, push for hours, and then have a C-section compared to just showing up at the hospital and having a C-section. So let's talk about it. Yeah, let's just hop in. So I'm only 23 weeks pregnant right now as I'm filming this, but it's gonna be a little bit in the future before you guys see this video, so I'll be more pregnant by the time you guys actually see this. But I do just wanted to talk about it. It's just been something that's on my mind. I've been kind of planning to film this video my whole pregnancy so far, and I've actually just wanted to sit down today and just talk about it. So I don't have a date set for my C-section. I'm due on May the 4th, and at my last doctor's appointment she said we would do it sometime between 39 and 40 weeks. So it definitely wouldn't be past my due date, and it would probably be actually like April maybe. So we might have an April baby instead of a May baby, which honestly that is kind of what I expected because both of my boys were born at 37 weeks, and so no, I did not expect to actually get to my due date in May. So I'm really just super excited to not have to recover from both, you know? With both of the boys, after pushing for hours, my lady bits were sore and swollen and gross, you know, like everything sucked in the lady bit section, and then I also had this giant incision on my belly, you know, so I had 2 different places where I had to heal from, plus going through labor for, you know, I don't know, 18 to 22 hours or something like that with both the boys, and then having to push for 2 to 3 hours with them, and then having to have the C-section, you know, not eating all that time, not resting all that time, and then having surgery at the end of it. I'm just really excited to not have to do that this time. Like, the food thing is a really big thing. After my son, Eren, my second, I was so starving to death by the time that I was done with the surgery and everything. I felt sick to my stomach. I threw up in the middle of the C-section. It was just nasty and gross, and I don't know exactly what the time frame is, how early you'll be able to eat compared to when your surgery actually happens. But whatever the time frame is, I'm sure it's not like over 24 hours, you know, like it was with the boys. But another thing that I kind of think about is this going to make delivery day more or less scary, you know? Is it going to be more scary because I know I have to go into surgery, whereas with the boys I was hopeful that I wasn't going to have a surgery, right? Or is it going to be less scary because I kind of know what I'm getting myself into, you know? I don't know if I remember correctly or not, but I feel like the C-section recovery wasn't too bad with my second son, Eren, and I kept up on my pain medication a lot better with Eren than I did with Calvin. With Calvin, my first son, I tried to kind of, you know, tough it out or whatever. Like, I don't need to take all those pills. And I felt like I struggled more with Calvin. But with Eren, I was like, nope, I'm just gonna take whatever they give me, and then we'll just see what happens. And it was much smoother with Eren, if I remember correctly. You know how it is. Hashtag mom life. My memory is just, who knows? But along with that, I do remember, you know, in the hospital itself, it sucks. The recovery is very sucky those first few days, but at least you're in the hospital and you have, you know, nurse help and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, if you were at home, it would be really, really sucky, you know, but because you have a major surgery, they're going to keep you in the hospital for a few days. And so I guess that's kind of, you know, kind of a pro, I guess. But if I remember correctly, once I got home with both of the boys, the recovery wasn't too terrible. But along with that, how is COVID going to affect everything? What is it even going to be like at the end of April, you know? Things are really sucky right now, but hopefully we'll be on a, you know, a downhill slope once April comes along. You know, hopefully it won't be too bad. I don't really know what the hospital situation is in my area as far as COVID stuff is concerned. Will my husband be able to leave the hospital to go and, you know, grab us some lunch from somewhere nearby, you know, and come back into the hospital? I don't know. I've heard that some hospitals aren't letting you come and go like that. So little things like that. I just wonder how COVID's going to end up affecting everything, and we really won't know until we get to that moment, right? You know, the way everything has gone over this past nearly a year, you just really don't know. Now, of course, I'm not actually looking forward to the actual surgery. Like, no, that's not gonna be fun. But not having to be deprived of sleep and food and all of that stuff and then having surgery, like, hopefully it won't be as bad as my first two, you know? Hopefully the C-section itself isn't bad. I remember the actual procedure with my first son, Calvin, went by so quickly. Everything was fine. You know, I didn't feel sick and gross. Everything was really good during my actual C-section with Calvin, my first son. But with Eren, I felt sick to my stomach. I threw up. I felt terrible the whole actual time I was having surgery. And so that was yucky. Hopefully this time around, it's not that yucky. But hopefully you guys can tell just from my attitude in this video, I really feel very at peace about it. It's not bothering me. I don't feel like a failure as a mom. I don't have any of these terrible negative emotions that I had, like especially with my first son, Calvin. I was very bummed about having to have a C-section with Calvin, and I felt like a failure. I felt like everything, like I wasn't meant to be a mom. You know, if I had Calvin 100 years ago, we wouldn't have survived or whatever, you know, like I just felt very bad after my first son, Calvin. But after my second son, Eren, I was pretty cool with it. I was like, you know, whatever. I tried my best. I tried really, really hard with Eren, honestly. And it just didn't happen. You know, I couldn't push him out. I couldn't do it, but I tried my best. And so this time around, I'm like, okay, I've had my 2 tries. I'm at peace with it. It's okay. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. I'm not gonna stress about it. There's nothing I can do. We're just gonna do a C-section and go from there, and it'll be totally fine. We've done this before. We can do it again. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video just to kind of chat, put my thoughts out there. If there's anybody out there who is kind of worried about having to have a C-section, at least it's a scheduled one, and hopefully that's less stressful than having to do all of the labor stuff and then still have a C-section. So I really, really feel for you guys. I know it's stressful. I know it's scary. It's something new and different, and nobody wants to have surgery, you know, but I hope that this video was at least a little bit helpful, because I'm pretty positive about it, you know. Try to find a little bit of positivity in there. There are some pros to having to have a C-section, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys next time.